After returning their awards to protest rising, or what they call rising intolerance and hate attacks, several writers have now decided to hit the streets. The rebel writers have decided to stage a silent demonstration in the capital on the 23rd of October. The protest will coincide with a crucial meeting of the Sahitya Akademi. The Sahitya Akademi had earlier convened an emergency meeting of its executive board on October 23rd to discuss the issue of writers returning their awards. Remember, more than 30 writers have returned their awards so far. And as the writers' protest then shows no sign of abating, joining me now is Bangladeshi author and author in exile. Taslima Nasreen joins me. I appreciate, Taslima, you joining us. You're looking resplendent in that Pujo sari there. So happy Durga Pujo. But the question to you is principally about religious intolerance. In this season of religious festivals, do you believe that religious intolerance is growing in India?
I think so. Religious intolerance is growing in India. You know, I can't believe that I would be killed for eating beef or for criticizing Hinduism and superstitions. Religious fundamentalists do not believe in individual freedom and plurality of thoughts. They believe in group loyalty. So they decide what people should eat, what people should drink, what people should wear, who they should sleep with, what they should write.
In that sense, are we dangerously heading towards, at some level, that there are groups in this country who would like to perhaps make us some kind of a Talibanized Pakistan, or dare I say an Islamized Bangladesh, where bloggers are killed in one country, where those who dissent are killed in the other? Is that a fear, or am I exaggerating this fear in India?
No, it is. Actually, some people, some extremists want to make India a Saudi, Hindu Saudi, or kind of Islamized India, you know, so it is not good. India should be a true democracy. India should be a secular state, you know. It is not good to encourage fundamentalists to rise.
But do you believe that the writers who are protesting should have, in a sense, have done the right thing? Do you support what the writers have done? Have they expressed their right to dissent? Are they entitled to do that? Do you support them?
Yeah, writers are protesting against intolerance and violence by giving up their awards. I think that they should have the right to choose which way they should protest.
But having said that, do you believe that writers, for example, should have protested when you were targeted by the Owaisi brothers in Hyderabad, or when the left front government banned your book, or when Salman Rushdie's book was banned by the Rajiv Gandhi government, that writers are guilty at times of selective outrage?
They are, but I do not say that no writers protested when my book was banned or fatwas were issued against me, or I was physically attacked, or I was thrown out when I was thrown out of West Bengal. Some writers protested, but many writers were silent. You know, most secular writers do not oppose Muslim fanatics as strongly as they oppose Hindu fanatics.
Taslima, you're making a very important point there, because you're saying, rather controversially, that secular establishment in this country doesn't protest against Muslim fundamentalism to the same extent as it does against Hindu fundamentalism. You've even tweeted and saying secular liberals are sometimes anti-Hindu and pro-Muslim in India. Isn't that an awful generalization?
I don't think so. It is true that many secular writers are anti-Hindu and pro-Muslim, and I should not call them secular writer. They are actually pseudo-secular writers.
You know, that's a, many will say...
They should be against...
Yeah, go ahead. They should be against?
They should be against religious fundamentalists, you know, against both Muslim fundamentalists and Hindu fundamentalists.
But isn't it true that when there was a fatwa against Salman Rushdie, many people spoke out in support of Salman Rushdie? When there was a fatwa against you, there were writers who came out in your support, intellectuals who came out in your support. Aren't you simplifying the issue with this anti-Hindu, pro-Muslim kind of binary sort of logic?
You know, I was thrown out of West Bengal. So how many writers actually protested against my banishment from West Bengal? You know, some writers, you would be surprised to hear that some writers actually asked the then Chief Minister of West Bengal to ban my book. And some writers even asked me to leave the state when West Bengal government wanted me to leave the state. And not only that, you know, the mega serial that I wrote for TV was banned, you know, few years ago, and I haven't seen that any writer protested against the banning of my mega serial. And
Taslima,
also Mamata Banerjee banned the...
Yeah, go ahead. Mamata Banerjee banned?
Also Mamata Banerjee banned the inauguration of my book called Nirvashan at Kolkata Book Fair. So how many writers protested against the banning? So I haven't seen that many writers protested against the banning and the banishment, my banishment from West Bengal. And you know, if they really protested against the banning, then I would have stayed in West Bengal now. My mega serial could have been telecasted.
I take your point. I take your point.
You know,
I take your point, Taslima, and you make a strong case for that. That writers need to protest whenever there is any form of extremism. Do you believe that in a sense Hindu and Muslim extremism at the moment are feeding on each other? That these two extremisms are two sides of the same coin?
Yeah, they are feeding on. Yeah, they are feeding on each other. They are helping each other. You know, they are against human rights. They are against women's rights and freedom of expression. They are taking societies backwards. So both are equally dangerous. And you know, in India, many secular writers defend Muslim fanatics only because Islam is a religion of minority. But they should remember that fundamentalists you know, whether they come from majorities religion or minorities religion, are equally bad, equally dangerous for society.
I take that point, but you know, you've also said somewhere that you believe that the secular establishment has not fully accepted Narendra Modi as the Prime Minister. On the other hand, don't you think Mr. Modi should be speaking out more strongly, more often, whenever there is religious intolerance? Don't you think that he should be actually taking a much firmer stand?
Yeah, you know, secular establishment have not accepted Modi as Prime Minister, but Modi ji didn't make any statement that disturbs communal harmony. And I think that secularists should give some time to Modi ji so that he can show his performance.
But he was silent on Kalburgi's murder.
I think that Modi ji should have...
But I didn't hear a word from the Prime Minister on Kalburgi's murder, on Akhlaq's killing. He was silent.
Yeah, Modi ji, yeah, he should have made, you know, he should have offered condolence to Kalburgi's family and Ikhlaq's family just after they were murdered.
Let me ask you in conclusion, do you believe that every society must protect the right to dissent and even private rights like what I want to eat? Do you believe at the end of the day, if we are to be seen as a truly liberal human society, and a secular society, we have to protect these rights? My right to eat, my right to my right to dissent.
Yeah, of course. Of course, no one should have the right to decide for others.
Right.
Muslims are not allowed to Muslims are not allowed to eat beef in India. That disturbs me. And also, Muslims are not allowed to eat pork. This is also something that disturbs me. People should eat, whatever they like. Many Hindus eat beef, many Muslims should eat pork, and I eat pork, beef, seafood, but I do not force Hindus or Muslims or Jewish not to eat those.
And if I offend someone's religious sensibilities, because people are saying our religious sensibilities are being affected, how would you respond to those? They will say your books are offending. The Muslim clerics will tell me Taslima's books offend our religious sensibilities. Today I hear Hindu religious groups who say eating beef offends us. How do you respond to those who say we are being offended?
Nobody should have the right to live his or her entire life without being offended,
So you're saying there is a right to offend. You're saying a writer has the right to offend, just as he has a right to dissent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Taslima Nasreen,
of course.
I think you put that firmly there and told us where you stand on this issue. I appreciate your joining us. Thank you very much.